Hey there, did you ever feel guilty, like it's difficult when you try to declutter? In this video, we'll look what we can do about this. Salut! I'm Valérie and I overcame my complex PTSD. But for that, I use a decluttering journey, decluttering my mind, my space, and my time. Let's talk about decluttering my space. I need to tell you a little story about it. The first time we bought our first house, I received a beautiful gift. It was a little house in ceramic, and it was my best friend who gave it to me. In this house, I can put a candle, and it was so beautiful and warm and soothing, so I was using it in different moment and place. But at one point, it stayed on the shelf, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. And my hubby said, you know what, we should get rid of it. So we put it in a box because I wasn't sure. Guess what? I get back in the box, I take it, bring it back, and put it on my night table. Because I will definitely use it. I didn't use it. It was just accumulating dust on my night table. Couple times after that, we decided if we should declutter it again, but I was still feeling guilty. So let's talk with Julie and see how and why we are feeling guilty when we try to declutter.
Hi, my name is Julie Fortin, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to declutter without feeling guilty. Decluttering is really hard because there's this emotion that surfaces to the top when it comes to decluttering, and that emotion is guilt. Guilt is associated with 4 key elements. The first element is those precious memories. We tend to put an emotion towards an object, which then makes it very hard to get rid of. And in these cases, what you need to do is to find somebody who you can donate the item to within a family member if it's really a memory that belongs within the family. If it's another object that you have memories of, the memories are really not in the object, but in your mind. And if it's really hard to part with this object, take a picture of it and then put it in a photo album. This way, you'll always have that memory when you look at this photo. You don't need to hold on to the object. The second element that is linked to guilt when decluttering is when it comes to items that have been given to us as a gift. We feel guilty getting rid of this object because this person who gave us the item had put a lot of thought into it. However, if this item you're not going to be using, then holding on to it doesn't give its value to what the intent of the item was for. Your friend or the family member who gave you this gift gave it to you with the intent of providing an item to you. It's not the actual item that is important, was the gesture that was the important part. And keeping that in mind, you can use this to help you make that decision to get rid of these types of items. The third element that's part of that guilt that rises up to the top is the amount that you spent on it. And I know we all do something like that, where we go out and we purchase an item and it just sits there on a shelf or it sits there in your closet and you feel guilty for getting rid of it because either you spent the money on it, whether it has a high or low dollar value, you feel guilty getting rid of it because you used your hard-earned dollars to purchase this item. One thing that I want you to keep in mind when decluttering, and this comes to mind, is that you've already spent the money. Therefore, if you feel guilty because you spent the money has already been spent maybe a year or so ago. And don't you want to take the item and donate it to somebody who's actually going to use it? And think of it this way. The money that you've invested in this item that you will not be using, donate it to somebody who will. And then you'll feel much better in getting rid of this item. The fourth key element that brings up this emotion of guilt is the space in your mind. When we purchase a lot of items, we feel like we have a lot of value around us. But in reality, we're just causing a lot more clutter in our space and in our mind. Our minds are a direct reflection of our environment. The more items that you have in your environment, the more that you feel guilty because it takes a lot of space. And when it takes a lot of space, it also clutters your mind. So to be able to feel free and to feel more lightened and less guilt and less stress, get rid of the items that does not bring you joy in your life and donate it. Give it to somebody else because it will bring them joy instead. One thing that I want you to remember is this: have the courage to let go. The items that you're not using in your life are taking up a lot of room for items that you really want to keep or that you need. By decluttering your space, you'll feel lighter, your mind will be clearer, and you'll have a nice environment to live in. So with that, if you still feel guilty, remember those 4 key elements to help you with decluttering. This way, you're not going to feel guilty. That's everything for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below and let me know what are the one items that are really hard for you to get rid of and cause you this guilt that keeps coming back up every single time. Thanks and have a great day.
Welcome back. As we saw with Julie, there's 4 reasons why we feel guilty. One is memory, gift, money, and status. So guess what? In my story with my little house, I had 2 of these things that were affecting me. I had the memories and I had the gift. But even though I was able to get part of it by giving it to somebody who will enjoy it and feel it and use it. And you know what? Today, I'm not missing it. And I'm happy that somebody else is using it. In the next video, we'll talk about another feeling, being overwhelmed, and how we can go over that overwhelmed feeling when we declutter. And remember, you create the life you want.